I recently completed The Last of Us Remake on PC. This was not my first experience with the story because I had played Last of Us Remastered on the PS4, which was a second-hand console that I bought back in 2020 when the whole pandemic thing, the lockdown thing was going on. It came with 11 games and The Last of Us Remastered was one of those. That console died exactly 1 year after I bought it because it was a repaired system and I was not aware of it at the time of buying it. Anyways, I got it repaired and sold it with all the games. So The Last of Us was not in my game collection anymore, and recently I'd been wanting to experience the story once again, check out the new game plus because it was something that I never managed to do back on the PS4, and finally got The Last of Us Remake on PC. It was sitting in my library for a while. Finally last weekend I got into it because I was kind of tired playing Call of Duty Warzone on weekends. Had an amazing time with the game. Completed it, got into New Game Plus, unlocked a lot of modifiers and whatnot, and some of the costumes too. And man, what an experience it was. These were some of the best and most relaxing game sessions that I've had in a while. One thing which absolutely stood out for me was that I did not skip a single cutscene on my first playthrough. The story is absolutely fantastic. The characters are amazing and believable. They are grounded in reality, which is something that I absolutely love. The gameplay is really good too. The voice acting is top notch. Presentation is really good. The atmosphere, the post-apocalyptic look and feel, it is just amazing. The monsters, the infected, the desperation of the survivors, be it the good guys or the bad guys. There is so much that I absolutely love about this game, like the opening for example, and not just because of the sad tone of it, but also because it portrays the beginning of a zombie apocalypse in such an amazing manner, and it allows you to live through it, and the whole section was fantastic. The prologue or the opening hits pretty hard because the game establishes the relationship between Joel and his daughter Sarah pretty quickly and really beautifully too. Then the characters themselves are amazing. They are grounded and believable. Whether it is the protagonist Joel, Ellie, or any of the support cast, they have all been done really well. There were moments when the support cast really stole the show, like the dialogue between Ellie and Bill was amazing, really fun. Then the character of David, his interactions with Ellie, they were really well done, and David stood out as the most menacing, most evil character in the entire game. The characters of Henry and Sam were also really likable. The game really made me feel bad for them. I was a bit indifferent towards Tess, I'll have to admit, and then the leader of the Fireflies, Marlene, was also a character that had much less impact compared to the others. Joel and Ellie are without doubt the stars of the show. The way their relationship develops through the course of the story feels so natural, it has been done so well, and you can see the impact of Ellie and Joel, like from a character who was not trying to get attached to anyone in any way to going out of his way to try and protect Ellie. It is an emotional journey which is totally worth experiencing. Both of them risked their lives to protect each other, but in my opinion, Ellie was the more stronger one because for a kid, she was an absolute badass, especially when dealing with David and his cannibalistic community. The dialogue between Joel and Ellie is always very interesting, showing the gradual development of their relationship, and Ellie's questions about how the world used to be before the whole apocalypse thing happened also feel really natural. The way Joel's character changes through the course of the story is something that I'm a big fan of, and his character is amazing. He's a tough guy. He's someone you don't want to mess with. He knows the world he's in, and he's a survivor, a fighter basically. He's carrying a lot of emotional burden, but he is able to mask it behind a tough exterior, and that thing has been done really well, really naturally. And I really love his tactical awareness in every situation, his calculative behavior. It's impossible to not like his character, and I love the way Ellie breaks him out of his shell slowly through the course of the story, and it is the best part of it. One character that I forgot to mention is Tommy, Joel's brother, who was also a very likable one, especially because of his role in the opening section of the game where he stood by his brother in a very tough situation. He was willing to put his life in danger in order to try and protect Joel and Sarah, and in that small section the game shows you the kind of relationship the two brothers share and the kind of love Sarah had for her uncle. The characters are all just fantastic, and so is the story. It is a story heavy title where the story takes the driving seat and the gameplay comes after that. But is the gameplay good? Well, in my opinion, yes it is. It is not a game where you are constantly in combat. I mean, there is action and lots of it, but there are lots of sections where you're doing nothing, just moving from one area to the other, listening to the dialogues. And it just works because the characters, the story, the game world, the overgrown look and feel of it is so damn good and believable that it completely immerses you and you want to experience the full story, you want to see the end of it and it grips you, which is the beauty of it. It is one of those games which, despite being a linear title, creates a strong illusion that you're playing an open world game because because your imagination runs wild. Who knows what's out there? Who knows how many communities are out there? I mean, the possibilities are basically endless. You don't get to explore anything at all. There is no exploration, but I mean, it really creates a strong illusion and it works in the favor of this game really well. It really makes you feel like you're a part of this extremely unpredictable, extremely dangerous, living, breathing world where you cannot trust anyone. The game has an amazing feel to it. It is something that I cannot sum up in words as I don't have the skills to do so, but you can probably understand what I'm trying to say. And no, I never felt that the game was like an interactive movie kind of thing. I personally didn't feel like that. And even if it is, it has been done so well that I mean, I didn't manage to feel it. Combat is really fun, especially the melee combat. I really enjoyed it, but the melee weapons they break way too quickly, which is something that I'm not a big fan of. Stealth is fun too, it works really well. I really enjoyed using distractions such as beer bottles or bricks, snaking up on enemies, taking them out quietly. It was really fun to do that. Gunplay is good too, and I like the variety of weapons present in the game. The workbench is a surprisingly nice to look at part of the game. Upgrading weapons looks amazing as you literally disassembles and reassembles weapons with upgrades on the workbench. It is something that really adds to the immersion factor of the game. Character and weapon upgrades are all very nice. One thing that I absolutely loved about this game is that after completing the game once, it really opened up. I had enough points to buy lots of modifiers, and I got a lot of modifiers like infinite ammo and whatnot to try the game once again with all those guns and have a completely different experience, which is something that I failed to have in Resident Evil 4 Remake last year because the requirements to unlock all that stuff, they were like ridiculously high, and I basically fell out of the game, couldn't replay it because I did not have enough time to go after those things. I've unlocked some costumes too, and there is a lot of stuff that I still want to unlock. All these things add some decent replay value to the title. The game features multiple levels of difficulty, which is really nice. The enemy design is pretty good too. Regular infected, they look like zombies from any other game, nothing special about them, but the clickers and the bloaters are actually quite distinct. They're scary and provide a decent challenge. Graphically, the game looks really good. The overgrown post-apocalyptic look and feel of the game is amazing. The character models, they look great, and the weapon models look amazing, especially in darkness when you're using a flashlight. I particularly love that. Unfortunately, it is not an optimized title. It is not exactly terrible anymore, but still far from a stable experience in my opinion. The sound design is just fantastic. Playing as Ellie was a highlight for me personally because I really enjoyed the stealth sections with her as she had an infinite knife. She did not have to craft shapes again and again, which was amazing. The entire winter section has to be my favorite, absolute favorite, and the boss fight against David, it was just amazing, really well done. I almost love everything about this game, from the story to the characters, the combat, the crafting, the weapon upgrades, and especially the modifiers because they really change the experience to something else once you complete the game. Going guns blazing with all those weapons and whatnot, it is just crazy and adds some really cool replay value. I really wish it was a nice performer too on the PC, but anyways, it is a must play title in my books and I have absolutely enjoyed it. It's a story that you should not miss out on experiencing. There is a TV series as well, but the game lets you live that whole story from the perspective of Joel and Ellie, which is something amazing. If you've played the game, do let me know what's your favorite weapon from the game. Mine has to be the bow and arrow and the flamethrower. Do leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. Peace out.